This lesson is on section 5.9 titled Simple Interest. And you can kind of relate this lesson to yourself because a lot of you have savings accounts, and a lot of the reasons you have savings accounts is to hopefully make a little bit of money back from the bank. And I know you know that, but we're actually going to be calculating how much money you actually make back with certain examples. And later we can kind of use simple interest too when you're an adult, when you have a credit card or maybe when you have to borrow money from the bank to pay for school. You're going to need to figure out the interest that you're going to owe. So this is a really important lesson that you will need to know for the future. So to find simple interest, you're going to use this formula, and this formula is really, really important. It says I equals PRT. Not too hard to memorize, but the I stands for the amount of money paid or the amount of money that you earned. The P stands for the principal. It's the money that's invested or borrowed. The R stands for the annual interest rate. And then the T stands for the time in years. And that's really important to know that it's the time in years. And this is going to make all more sense when I show you some examples. But just kind of keep that in the back of your head. Okay, so the first example says find the simple interest for $500 invested. So, you can say, okay, if you put $500 in the bank and you're given 3.25% interest rate, and you're going to leave that into the bank for 3 years. Nowadays, banks aren't that nice and they don't give us 3.25%, but let's just say they did. So we put $500 in the bank, we get 3.25% interest back, and we keep that money in the bank for 3 years. And so we're going to try to figure out how much money do we kind of earn back. So let's use that formula. I equals their P, R, and T. So we're solving for interest, so we're going to leave that I there. And so our principal is at $500. That's what we started with. So we put $500 in. And the rate that we're gaining the interest is that 3.25%. And I'm going to actually write this percent as a decimal. Okay? So I got to move the decimal 2 spots over. So I'm going to multiply that by 0.0325. And I'm writing my percent as a decimal to make it easy to multiply at the end. And then so that's my rate. Now my time, T, is 3. And it's already in years, so I don't have to do any conversion. So I'm going to multiply this by 3. So you can definitely use the calculator on this. You're going to take your 500 times, that's your principal, times the interest rate, which is 0.0325. And then we're going to multiply that by 3, which is our 3 years. After you multiply it, you're going to get $48.75. So after you invest that $500 into this account that gives you 3.25%, you're going to earn $48.75. Again, it all goes back to this formula, so make sure that you're focusing on that formula. Next example says, what is the total amount of money owed on a credit card with a balance of $1,500 at a simple interest rate of 22% after 1 month? So this is kind of how adults get in trouble, is that when we spend money on our credit cards and we can't pay it off, what happens is these credit card companies make a lot of money off of us and charge us interest. So we actually have to owe more money to them. So let's try to figure this out. So we have a balance of $1,500. We can't pay it. So this credit card company is going to charge us 22% after that first month. Okay. So then let's use that formula. I equals our PRT. Okay. So I'm solving for I. I'm solving for what that interest is going to be. My principal, I had a beginning balance of $1,500. I have my interest rate of 22%, so I'm going to multiply it by 0.22 or 2200ths because I moved the decimal 2 spots over. And then after 1 month, now many 6th graders will say times 1. Don't do that, okay? Because I say don't do that is because 1 month, back to our original formula here, it's time in years. okay? So 1 month, well, there's 12 months in a year, so 1 month is just technically 1/12 of the year. Um, or you can, change that 1/12 into a decimal, but really it's 1/12 of the year, not the full year. So make sure you're multiplying by 1/12 and not 1. So technically, if it was 2 months, you would do 2/12 of the year and so on. So again, you can get out your calculator, and this is your formula you're going to have to multiply. After you multiply this, you're going to get $27.50. So now what we have to do, and so that's just the interest, and it asks us what's the total amount of money owed. So it's not going to just be $27.50. What we have to do is we have to add back our original $1,500, because that money just doesn't go away. So when we take $27.50 plus $1,500, we're going to get $1,527.50. So after that 1 month, our $1,500 now turns into $1,527.50. So that's why it's really important to pay off your credit cards. So that's my second to last one. Here's my last example. John's brother Lane makes monthly payments of $290.28 on his student loans of $5,000. He will pay off his loan in 1.5 years. Find the simple interest rate of his loan. So let's try to understand this problem. So Lane has a loan of $5,000, okay, and he's making payments of $290.28 a month on his student loans, and he's going to pay it off in 1.5 years. We have to actually figure out, we have to kind of go backwards a little bit, and we have to now figure out what's the simple interest rate. We're trying to figure out what that R value is. So let's go back to our original formula of I equals PRT and fill in what we have. So my interest that he's going to end up acquiring is, we actually don't know this yet. We actually have to figure this out. So he's paying this $290.28, and he's paying that for 1.5 years. So we're going to take this 1.5 years. That 1.5 years really is 18 months, because we're going to convert it to months. Okay, because he's making monthly payments. Okay, so he's paying that $290.28. He's paying that for 18 months. And that's now going to be our I. Okay, because that's the total amount of money that he's actually paying for that interest. So again, you can type this into your calculator. When you type that in, you're going to get $5,225.04. So that's your I. So now we can type in or write down $5,225.04. Now, to just figure out the interest, because this is that total amount with our interest, we have to subtract the original of $5,000 from it to get $225.04. Okay, so that's going to be our I. So we're going to type in $225.04, and that's going to equal our P. Well, our principal is what we started off with, so that's our 5,000. Our R is our rate, okay, and that's what we're actually solving for, so I'm just going to say times R. And then our T is our time is 1.5 years, so we're going to do 1.5 years. Okay, so let's simplify it again. We have to get R by itself. So in order to get R by itself, we have to multiply 5,000 times 1.5. And when we do that, we're going to get 7,500. Bring down the R. And that's going to be $225.04. Again, to solve the opposite of multiplication is division. So we have to divide both sides by 7,500. and that's going to get us our R. And then after you divide, you're going to get 0.03, okay, which is 3% interest rate. So that was a little tricky, a little trickier than the other ones, but pretty much the hardest part of this one is we had to figure out what that I value was. So what I did is the monthly payments, I converted 1.5 years to 18 months. So then I knew, okay, well, 18 months at $290.28 for 18 months. Overall, he was going to be paying $5,225.04. But then I had to subtract the original loan of $5,000 away in order to just get that interest amount. And then from there, I was able to plug into my original equation right there, and then I solved for R to get my 3%. So that brings us to the end of this lesson. This was the more challenged problem. These are the more similar problems you will most likely see on your homework and test, but definitely this is a problem that you do have to understand and know how to do. Thanks for watching.